What if the most dangerous part of your mind is the part you don't even know exists? What if everything you hate in others is actually a reflection of something inside you? Carl Jung believed this, and once you understand it, you can't unsee it. Because hidden behind your personality, behind the image you show to the world, there is something darker, something deeper, something most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. He called it the shadow. And the truth is, your shadow controls more of your life than you think. Every time you judge someone, every time you feel triggered, every time you react emotionally without understanding why, your shadow is there, influencing your behavior, shaping your decisions, controlling your reactions. But here's the problem. Most people don't even know it exists. They believe they are rational, conscious, in control, but in reality, they are being driven by unconscious patterns they never stop to question. Imagine this. A man gets angry at someone for being arrogant, he criticizes them, judges them, rejects them, but what he doesn't realize is that deep down, he desires that same confidence, that same dominance, that same power. But because he has rejected that part of himself, it doesn't disappear. It hides, and from the shadows, it controls him. This is the paradox Jung warned about. The more you deny your darkness, the more power it has over you. And this is where dark psychology begins. Not in manipulation of others, but in the understanding of yourself. Because once you understand your shadow, you begin to see it in everything. You see how people project their insecurities, how they hide their desires, how they pretend to be something they are not. And suddenly, the world starts to make sense. You realize that people are not who they say they are. They are what they hide. Think about the people who pretend to be kind all the time, always smiling, always agreeable, never showing anger. It looks like goodness, but Jung would say, that's not goodness. That's repression. Because true balance includes both light and dark. If you suppress your anger, it doesn't disappear, it transforms, it becomes passive aggression, resentment, hidden hostility. And one day, it explodes. That's why some of the nicest people can suddenly become the most destructive. Because what is buried, eventually comes out. Now imagine living your entire life without ever facing this. Without ever questioning your reactions, your emotions, your impulses. You would believe you are in control. But you wouldn't be. Your shadow would be. And that's exactly how most people live. Unaware, reactive, predictable. And that's what makes them easy to manipulate. Because if someone understands your shadow, they understand your triggers. Your fears. Your desires. And once someone understands those things, they can influence you without you even noticing. This is the uncomfortable truth about human behavior. We like to believe we are logical. But we are emotional creatures pretending to be rational. Driven by forces we barely understand. And this is why self-awareness is power. Because the moment you start observing your own mind, your reactions, your judgments, your emotions, you begin to see patterns. You begin to see the shadow. You start asking different questions. Why did that bother me? Why did I react like that? Why do I feel threatened by certain people? And slowly, something changes. You stop projecting. You stop blaming. You start understanding. And with understanding comes control. Not control over the world, but control over yourself. And that's rare. Because most people don't want to see their shadow. They want to believe they are good, pure, justified. They avoid anything that challenges that image. But Jung believed that true growth comes from integration. Not from pretending to be perfect. But from accepting your imperfections. Your darkness. Your contradictions. Because when you face your shadow, it stops controlling you. It becomes part of you, something you understand, something you manage, something you transform. And this is where real power begins. Because a person who knows their darkness cannot be easily manipulated. They are aware of their desires, their fears, their weaknesses. And because of that, they are harder to control. Harder to deceive. Harder to break. Now think about this. What are you avoiding about yourself? What part of you have you been ignoring? What emotions do you suppress? What thoughts do you hide? Because whatever you refuse to face, will control you. From the shadows. Until you bring it into the light. And maybe that's the real reason most people never reach their full potential. Not because they lack intelligence. Not because they lack opportunity. But because they lack self-awareness. They are fighting the world. Without realizing the real battle is inside their own mind. And once you understand this, everything changes. Because the moment you stop running from yourself, you start becoming someone different. Stronger. Calmer. More aware. More dangerous in the right way. Because now, you are no longer controlled by what you don't understand. You are aware of it. And awareness is the beginning of mastery.